This game is fiction. All names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold grey floor. Ow! God damn it! God, what the hell? Junpei glared around the room, still trying to determine where he'd woken up. The fall had shaken the last cobwebs of sleep from his mind, and finally he understood where he had fallen from. It was a bed. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Junpei had fallen, apparently, from the topmost bunk. His shoulder hurt, his knee hurt, his hips hurt, his entire body hurt. He could feel a bump forming on his forehead, where he'd stamped it against the low ceiling. He wondered if that bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of the rude awakening, but as he looked around, he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake, he wondered? It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Junpei rubbed the growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room and muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings. Then, as suddenly as they had begun, the tremors ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There were 1,000 things that sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stuff that looked more antique than functional. The 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin that they were little more than blankets. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5? What does this 5 mean? Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door, slowly. Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed a hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It wouldn't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved, the handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door! There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door. And stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else so much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over, as if to remove the watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face. Perhaps... He pushed them, but nothing happened. On a watch, they might be dials for adjusting date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However... Damn! It's no good. Damn thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face around Junpei's wrist and back to the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he were about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? It was at that moment that he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait, am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What the? You gotta be kidding me. What the hell is going on here? A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst and water began to pour into the room. What the hell? God damn it! Junpei yelled and spun around. His feet slipping on the water already coming through the window, he ran for the door. Hey! Anyone? Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something. There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle-deep on the floor and rising quickly towards his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran her hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. Seek a way out. Damit herzlich willkommen bei, nein. Operations during an escape. Ich lese noch ein bisschen weiter. During an escape, you can move to different parts of the room by touching the bottom screen. Okay, got it. Since many areas require very exact selection, we recommend you use the stylus. Ich hab ne Maus, alles gut. Searching during an escape. During an escape, you can touch the background to search anywhere in the room. Areas you can investigate will be highlighted yellow the moment you touch them. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item or a hint. Begin searching by touching places on the bottom screen. How to move. Touch the triangle icon on the bottom screen. Doing so will change the viewing angle of the room and move you to different locations. You can do the same by pressing left, right and down on the control pad. Ich gucke mir gleich mal an, wie das hier geht. Bird's eye view. If you want to know where you are, touch X on the camera icon on the bottom screen. Okay, this will show you where you are and what direction you're facing. Saving during an escape. Pressing start will allow you to save. If you want to quit, we recommend pressing start. Purpose of an escape. The purpose of each escape is to get out of the room. How do you do that? That depends on the room. You'll need to search all throughout the room to discover what you'll need to do to get out. Also ein extremer Escape Room eigentlich. Search for hints and items that may help you find a way out. Okay, pass auf. Folgendes. Kann ich speichern? Okay, warte mal eben. Config. Control Config. Start is Enter, okay. Would you like to overwrite the save file? Ja, wir überschreiben das jetzt mal kurz. Ich gehe jetzt gerade komplett hier blind rein. Ich speichere mal kurz. Verdammt doch mal. Albi, was hast du mir angetan? Would you like to quit? Nein. Okay. Da ist ein Waschbecken. Wir gucken uns das Waschbecken an. Doesn't seem like there's anything hidden on the sink. This is the only drain in this room. Okay, gut zu wissen. About items. During an escape, investigating certain parts of the room will allow you to obtain items. Once you've obtained an item, you'll be able to go to this item screen. Touching L item on the top left will take you to the item screen. While on the item screen, you will be able to investigate, hold, and combine items that you found. If you want to investigate an item you found, touch the icon for the item in the item screen. And then touch search in the top right corner of the bottom screen. Okay, Picture Frame haben wir gefunden. Wir können es drehen, das ist sehr cool. Search. An old picture frame. There's a picture of a ship in it. There are screws keeping the bag on. Okay, da sind Schrauben hinten dran. Die können wir eventuell aufschrauben. Merken wir uns mal. Investigate with an item. Touching an item while on the item screen will select that item. Ja. While an item is selected, touching L back will return it to the room. Investigation screen. Ja. If you look around the bottom left, look down the bottom left corner of the bottom screen, you should see the icon. Ja. This shows that you are holding the item. Okay, gut zu wissen. If you hold an item while investigating the room, you may trigger a reaction. Investigate suspicious areas with different items to see if anything happens. Pressing up on the control pad. Mal eben kurz, wo das ist. Up on the control pad is up. Okay. On the control pad will select either item for you to hold. Oh. Note from the bulletin board. Search. The note got ausgefülltes rotes Dreieck, leeres rotes Dreieck in red und ausgefülltes blaues Dreieck und leeres blaues Dreieck in blue. Das ist alles. Also obere linke Ecke ausgefüllt, untere rechte Ecke nicht ausgefüllt rot. Ich versuche das mal zu merken. Okay. Gehen damit mal zurück. Ich glaube, hier ein Handtuch. There's a towel next to the sink. Okay. Now mind that. Water just keeps pouring through the window. Also, was mache ich denn hier? It's like a waterfall. Ja, ich kann das sehen. I don't think shoving something into the window is gonna stop the water. Nein, das macht Sinn. Geht das Schiff gerade unter? Ich glaube, das Schiff geht unter. In other words, if you don't wanna die, I need to find a way out of this room. Ja, I have to figure this out. Ja, okay, jeez. It's a pipe. I know. I'll crawl into the pipe and find a way out. Also Junpei, du bist bestimmt sehr thin. Also wenn du so ein typischer Anime-Protagonist bist, dann bist du bestimmt sehr dünn und gelenkig, ne? Ah, da passt du nicht durch. There's nobody here to make fun of my lame jokes. Okay, sorry, ja, tut mir leid. Es war schon ganz lustig. Man, this sucks. Oh, Junpei ist okay. Oh Gott. Das ist dieser Ofen. There's a door on the stove. Well, it opens easily enough. Sure wish the door to get out of here was that easy to open. Was ist da drin? That solves the mystery of whether or not the stove has been used before. What's this? It looks red. Ein Schraubendreher? Ja! Okay, den können wir kombinieren. Erstmal searchen. Alles muss seine Ordnung haben, auch wenn wir gerade davor sind zu sterben. A normal screwdriver. It doesn't seem to be anything special about it. Combine it with this one. Okay. Well, the screwdriver got those screws off easily enough. And here's a picture. Picture of an old cruise liner. Oh, guck mal! Guck mal! Da ist was auf der Rückseite. Oh, das ist gut zu wissen. Okay. Search. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also im Uhrzeigersinn unten links beginnen wir. 1, 2, 3, 4 und 5 ist das Ausgefüllte. Und das gleiche dann mit 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay. So someone wrote a bunch of numbers and symbols on the back of the picture, huh? Das ist wichtig! There are a bunch of numbers and symbols written on the back of this photo. Ja, okay. 1 through 5 are empty and 6 through 9 as well as 0 are colored in. Maybe this has something to do with the relationship between the symbols and the numbers. Kann ich das mit dem hier kombinieren? Okay, nicht. Das muss ich dann wahrscheinlich in meinem Kopf kombinieren. Okay, das war schon mal hilfreich. Combining items. If you take two items you found and combine them, they may turn into something else. To do this, select an item on the item screen and touch X combine on the top part of the bottom screen. Then select the second item and touch X combining. If the two items can be combined, you will receive a new item. If they cannot be combined, nothing will happen. Das haben wir beides jetzt gerade schon erlebt. Okay, da ist ein Pot, da ist ein Schlüssel drin. Well, let's see if there's anything in here. Ah, looks like there is. Gib mir das. Ah, key. Yeah, there's a little blue key on the bottom of this pot. Odd. Nimm es. Small key, blue. This key is pretty small, definitely not for a door. What's it for then? This key is blue. Is it supposed to open something else blue? Ah, vielleicht. Keine Zeit. Zurück. Gibt's hier sonst noch irgendwas? Was ist das? Ein Vorhang. Das ist ein Koffer. There's a lock on this briefcase. It won't budge. Let's see if there's anything in the keyhole. Warte mal. Das Ding ist rot, ne? Aber da sind nur 2 rote Zahlen drauf. Ich versuch's trotzdem mal. Das müssten dann... das hier müsste eine 7 sein. Das hier müsste eine 4 sein. 7, 4. 6. 6, 3. 7, 4, 6, 3. A number on the dial is 0101. I guess I'm going to need a key before I can put in any numbers. Okay, dafür brauchen wir den roten Schlüssel. Okay, got it. A red briefcase. And it's locked. There are some hangers on the pole. Okay, aber mehr kann ich da nichts machen. Okay. Curtain's already open. Ja, okay. Ich glaube, mehr ist da nicht. I keep looking till the cows come home. All I'm gonna find up there is a pillow. Damn it. Isn't there anything else I can use? Da ist der blaue Koffer. Doesn't matter what I do, this thing won't budge. Guess it's locked. Is this one just like the red briefcase? Aber wir haben den blauen Schlüssel. Alright, let's see what happens if I put this blue key in the keyhole. And nothing. Guess I'm gonna need some sort of code for the dial. Minigames. Oh god, minigames, so viel. During an escape, your investigation may trigger one of several minigames. All operations for the minigames are done by touching the bottom screen. Some minigames will require you to manipulate something, while others will only require you to apply the right object or touch the right thing. Okay. Operational instructions. Touching the dial will cause it to move to the next number. Enter 4 numbers this way and then touch the key. If the numbers are correct, it will unlock. Das war's nochmal, 4763. Back. Damn it. Open, you stupid thing. I don't think it's gonna open if I whack on the wall a couple of times. Might make me feel better. Not gonna help though. Alright, Junpei, don't freak out. Keep it cool and look around for some more clues. Okay, ich konnte da keine 7 eingeben, das war sehr merkwürdig. I can't see the bottom of the ladder. Oh man, the water's already up to the bottom of the bed. I've gotta hurry this up. There's a blue briefcase on top of the bed. Und hier oben? There's a pipe on the other end of the bed. There's nothing up top. Okay, hier ist sonst nichts mehr. Was ist das hier? Ein weiterer Raum. Ein Schlüssel? Ich habe aus Versehen direkt den Schlüssel angeklickt. A small red key. Okay, gut. Gut zu wissen. Dann haben wir den roten Schlüssel jetzt auch. Junpei grabbed the key and shoved it into his pocket. He intended to leave immediately, but something stopped him. His reflection stared back at him from the mirror, but he had scarcely recognized himself. What's up with my face? Ich weiß nicht, das sieht ganz normal aus. His confusion was well justified. His face was drawn and pale, and the dark circles around under his eyes made him look as though he was nearly dead. Hey, so sehe ich IRL aus. Was soll das? Man, what the hell happened to me? How did I end up here? Even as he said it, something in his mind opened and a memory bobbed to the surface. It was the last thing Junpei remembered before waking up in the strange room. It was past midnight when he came home. Alter, ich sterb hier gleich. Du kannst es nicht einfach Flashbacks haben. Egal. Junpei shuffled up the stairs and opened the door to apartment 201. Inside was his apartment. A small one-bedroom affair that ran him about 630 a month. Wenigstens muss ich nicht so viel bezahlen. Für mein Einzimmerding. He moved into it when he entered college, and so far he'd been here for 3 years and 7 months. Bro, das hittet grad echt close to home. Beobachtet das Spiel mich? He stepped inside and turned on the lights. Schöne Aussicht, though. The fluorescent lights on the ceiling blinked and flickered slowly to life, as if waking from a deep slumber. The cold light illuminated the landscape he'd come home to so many times before. Everything was as he'd left it. The magazines piled up in the corner, the textbooks collecting dust, the CD cases covering the floor, the jeans and t-shirt he'd worn the day before, then tossed onto the floor. There was one thing that didn't belong, however. There was a breeze. Breaths of cold night air wafted into his apartment, carrying the smells of autumn with them. The white curtain framing his window swayed gently in the wind. Huh. That's weird. Did I leave that open? Uh-oh. Einbrecher. Junpei walked towards the window, trying to remember if he'd closed it or not before he left. One of the panes was hanging open. He stuck his head out and looked around. Bruder, that's how you lose your head. So werden Leute geköpft. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Junpei shrugged. He must have just left it open earlier. He closed the window. Then it happened. Uh-oh. Shit. Junpei turned and found himself face to mask with a man dressed all in black. How do you know it's a man? The man wore a deep hood and a bulky gas mask. His face was entirely hidden. Junpei tried to scream, but all he could manage was a strangled croak. He tried to step towards the man, but his legs could no longer support his weight. Junpei collapsed on the floor, a crumpled heap of limbs like a discarded puppet. Gas? Too late. He noticed the white smoke that was quickly filling his apartment. A small object, shaped distressingly like a grenade, sat on the floor in front of his face, hissing. The white smoke poured out of it at an incredible rate. The smoke had grown so thick that the details of Junpei's apartment began to fade into the white haze. He could feel his mind begin to fade as well. A white haze that was not the smoke creeping into the edges of his vision.
Consider this a privilege. You have been chosen.
A rasping voice wormed its way out of the gas mask. It was cold and harsh and distorted in some way Junpei couldn't put his finger on.
You are going to participate in a game. The Nonary game.
Nonary game?
It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
That was the last thing Junpei remembered. The white smoke overpowered him. The masked man faded from his vision, and he felt his consciousness fall away into the white mist. That's right. That guy with the gas mask. That son of a bitch must have taken me here. As to who the man was, or might have been, Junpei had no idea. Indeed, he wasn't even sure that his assailant had been a man. Siehste? The voice had been cold and mechanical, likely passed through a voice changer, and the body had been covered in a thick cloak. Who was the man in the mask? You have been chosen. Junpei remembered that much, but what it might mean, that was beyond him. Junpei had no idea where he was, or why he was there. There was only one thing from his memory that seemed important.
You are going to participate in a game. The Nonary game. It is a game where you will put your life on the line.
The Nonary game, huh? What the hell is a Nonary game? God damn it! Ich weiß nicht, wie man es ausspricht. Nonary? Nonary? Ah! Oh. With a yell, Junpei drove his fist into the mirror. Ist okay, Junpei. Ist okay, wenn du nicht weißt, wie man es ausspricht. Die Leiter. There's nothing left on the mirror. Klebte der Schlüssel da dran? Ich habe das irgendwie gar nicht gesehen. Ich habe einfach instinktiv danach gegriffen. 5, huh? What does that mean? Dieser card reader, ne? Guess that's a lever, huh? Maybe if I pull it. No. Well, looks like pulling on the lever just makes a weird noise. Great. The light's still red and the display hasn't changed. Damn it! Why the hell isn't this thing opening? Es ist interessant, dass der Narrator und Junpei irgendwie zwei verschiedene Menschen zu sein scheinen. Well, I can reach this bunk. Might as well look through it. Huh. Damn. Nothing here. Can't bring myself to call this a bed. It feels like a board with a sheet on it. It's pretty flat. Oh, da ist noch was. Aha. haben jetzt 2 von denen. Memo from bed. Okay. Kann ich die beiden miteinander kombinieren? Nein. Okay, hier geht der Pfeil nach links. Und hier geht der Pfeil nach... Moment. Ich glaube, ich krieg langsam ein klareres Bild. Okay, so und so. Und das ist verkehrt rum. Verdammt. Ich weiß nicht, ob es so rum oder so rum ist. Ich versuche mal in Leserichtung zu gehen. Komm schon. Ach, komm schon. So. Ich versuche mal in Leserichtung zu gehen. Und nach der Logik wäre das hier beim blauen... warte. 0. 0,2 glaube ich. Ja, 0,2. 6. Moment. 6,3. 0,263. Okay, versuchen wir es mal. No. Guess I'm going to have to find the right 4 numbers. Alright, let's give this another try. 0263. Operational instructions. Ja. 0263, 0263, 0263. 2. Did it work? Alright, let's see if these numbers work. A turn of the key and... Hey, looks like it's working. Yes! Okay, das war richtig. Alright, let's open it up. Das heißt, wir können den roten gleich auch öffnen. Yes! It opened. Looks like there's something in here. What is this? A file? File screen. If you find any documents or notes during an escape, the information on them will be available from the file screen. To open the file screen, touch File R in the top right of the bottom screen. Once at the file screen, select files by touching them, or by pressing numpad on the control pad. If you touch Search R, the contents of the file you selected will be displayed on the upper screen. Alright, let's see what's in this file. Junpei, ich weiß nicht, ob wir Zeit haben, das einfach zu lesen. Digital route. Let's see here. Compute a digital route with the following steps. First, add all the numbers in question to one another. If you end up with something greater than the single-digit number, add the digits to one another. For instance, if you have a double-digit number, add the number in the... If you have a double-digit number, add the number in the tens place to the number in the ones place. Macht Sinn. Wenn ich eine 13 habe, dann addiere ich die 1 mit der 3. Okay. Keep adding digits in this manner until you have a single-digit answer. That final digit is your digital root. Example, the digital root of 678 would be 6 plus 7 plus 8 equals 21, 2 plus 1 equals 3. Therefore, the digital root of 678 is 3. Example, the digital root of 1234 will be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 equals 1. Therefore, the digital root of 1234 is 1. I see. So I just keep adding numbers until I get a single-digit number. Oh, looks like there's something on the back of this thing. A notebook, a pen, a calculator, and a stack of key cards. Huh. Stack of blue key cards. Looks like some key cards. There's a number written on each card. 6, 7, 8. Does that mean something? Es wurde gerade in in dem Beispiel verwendet, gell? New material has been added to the file screen. Calculator. Oh Gott, das ist so viel zu lesen. Ich muss mir gleich Wasser einschenken. The calculator screen can be used during an escape or during a novel sequence. During an escape, you can access it by pressing the Y. This will open the calculator screen. To operate the calculator, touch the bottom screen. When using the calculator, the numbers on top are your calculations and the numbers on the bottom are your answer. The calculator can also calculate a digital route, which will be important to the progression of the story. Okay, file. About digital routes. Okay, map screen controls. Escape tips. Search. Touching the bottom screen during an escape searches the touched area. Repeatedly touching the same area or touching it again after searching other areas might uncover new clues. Wichtig zu wissen. Touching an arrow that appears in an area you've searched will take you somewhere else. Was alles? Items. You can switch items on the item screen. Selecting an item on the item screen allows you to hold it. After selecting an item and leaving the item screen, an icon will appear on the bottom screen. Das haben wir schon. Function to combine items. If you've selected a possible combination, you will now have a new item. Okay. If you want to get to the minigame, touch back. If you're having difficulty solving a minigame, make sure to search the room thoroughly. Sometimes new hits will be unlocked. Es ist wirklich ein extremer Escape Room. So. Item. Okay. Hier beginnen wir mit einer 7. 7,4 müsste das sein. 7,4. Ja, hier ist 7,4. Und wir enden mit 8,5. 7,4,8,5. 7,4,8,5. Stimmt das? 7,4,8,5. Ja, versuch was mal. Erstmal den hier. Alright, let's stick that red key in there. 7,4,8,5. It's not opening. 7,4,8,5. In fact, it's not doing anything at all. 7,4,8,5. Alright, I take that back. I guess I can move the dial now. 7,4,8,5. Sorry, ich muss mir das merken. So it looks like I'm gonna have to put in the right numbers and then turn the key. I do that. If I do that, this thing should pop right open. 7,4,8,5. Let's give it a shot. Operation instructions. 7,4,8,5. 7,4,8,5. 7,4,8,5. Come on, come on, come on. Ich kann mir das nicht so lang merken. 7, 4, 8, 5. Yes! I unlocked it. It's opening. Mehr keycards. Stack of red keycards. Okay. These look like keycards. There's a number on each one. 1, 2, 3. Vielleicht kann ich die mit denen hier kombinieren. Nein. Stack of blue keycards. 1, 2, 3 und 7, 8, 7, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Das war's. Mehr kriege ich nicht. Verdammt. Calculator controls. Enter numbers, touch. Okay. Warte mal, aber der Calculator ist doch hier, oder nicht? Ja, komm schon. Ist er nicht hier? Item. Wo ist mein Calculator? Warte mal. Calculator controls. Enter numbers. Touch numbers on the bottom screen. Calculate. Touch plus, minus, times, equals. Calculate digital root. Touch digital root button on the bottom screen. Clear. Touch clear at the bottom screen. Back. Aber wie komme ich da hin? Warte mal. Ha? Ist das hier drin? The file Junpei found in the cabin where he woke up, there was something written on it about digital roots. Add up all numbers involved. If the answer is more than 2 digits, add all the digits to one another. In the event of a two-digit number, add the tens digit and the ones digit. Keep adding digits until you are left with a single-digit number. Ja. Wo ist mein Calculator? Okay, pass auf. 6, 7, 8. 6 plus 7 plus 8. Das ist das sind die Karten, die wir schon haben. 21. 2 plus 1 sind 3. Und dann haben wir 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 2 plus 3 sind 6. Also wäre die Digital Root davon 6. Wir haben einmal 6 und wir haben einmal 3. Kann ich hier was... These cards with numbers on them. I'm pretty sure this is where I'm supposed to use them. Alright, let's slide this card and see if it works. And... Huh? It's not working? Why? Damn it. No, that's right. I still have cards I haven't used. Damn it. Not again. There aren't any more cards in here. I've only got one other hint. Of course! The files! Aha. That file said something about a digital root. A digital root. The digital root, huh? What am I supposed to do with... There's a 5 on that door. Do I have to get a digital root of 5? I'm not really sure about this. Whatever, it's worth a shot. Let's see if this works. And just slide the cards that give me the digital root. Ich muss rechnen. Albi, wenn ich dich in die Finger kriege, ne? Operating instructions. Nice. I'm an art major. I'm not a math major. Okay, wir kriegen das hin. Puh. Operating instructions. Touch 3 cards to select them. The digital root of the selected cards will be displayed on the top screen. Touching reset will deselect all currently selected cards. After you selected 3 cards, touch the device. Okay, wir müssen irgendwie gucken, dass wir ja, eine 14 rauskriegen. Weil 1 plus 4 ist 5. Ja! Bingo! Alright, I think this is gonna work. There we go. That's a new noise. Huh? Did it just unlock? Well, the light was red, now it's blue. No doubt about it. There's nothing keeping me here now. Time to go. Zurück. Raus hier. Rausgeschafft. Tja. You found it. Oh, Gott sei Dank, wir leben.